CEO brings a pretend girlfriend to his ex's engagement party. Then, everything changes. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It is quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let us go back to the main character. The rain is coming down in thin, cold lines when he makes the call. It is nearly 9 in the evening, and the city outside his office window looks distant, blurred, like a world he does not quite belong to anymore. His name is Daniel Wright. He is a chief executive officer, the kind whose signature moves markets and whose presence fills rooms. Tonight, none of that helps. Daniel loosens his tie and stares at the message glowing on his phone. A photo. His ex-fiancée, her hand held up, a diamond catching the light. The caption is short and deliberate. Engagement party, tomorrow night. He exhales slowly. He should not care. He told himself that when she walked away months ago, choosing someone safer, someone approved by her family. Still, the invitation feels like a challenge, like a test designed to remind him exactly what he lost. Daniel does not want to go alone. He knows the whispers that will follow him through that room. Poor Daniel. Too busy, too cold, not husband material. He refuses to give them that satisfaction. That is when he opens a rideshare app and adds one more stop before heading home. Across town, in a narrow apartment above a closed laundromat, a woman named Lily Harper counts the cash in her hand for the third time. The numbers do not change. She is still short. Rent is due in 48 hours. Her landlord does not believe in grace periods, and the past month has already used up all her apologies. Lily is practical, careful, and tired in a quiet way. She has learned how to stretch a dollar, how to say no, how to walk away from offers that feel wrong. So when the knock comes at her door, sharp and unexpected, she almost does not answer. The man standing in the hallway does not look like trouble. He looks composed, controlled, and out of place in a building where the paint peels and the stairs creak. His coat alone probably costs more than her monthly groceries. He introduces himself simply, Daniel. He does not mention companies or stock prices. He gets to the point instead. He needs a girlfriend. For one night, tomorrow evening, a formal event. He will handle the clothes, the transportation, the details. He will pay well, more than enough to solve her immediate problem. Lily does not smile. She does not laugh. She listens. Daniel keeps his voice even, professional, as if proposing a short-term contract. There will be rules, clear ones. They will arrive together, stay close, leave together. No personal questions, no future expectations. After the party, the arrangement ends. Lily studies him, noticing the tension he is trying to hide. This is not about showing off. This is about survival of a different kind. She asks one question. Why her? Daniel hesitates, just a second too long. Then he answers honestly. Because she looks like someone who will not humiliate him. Because she looks real. The hallway feels smaller. The rain taps against the window behind him. Lily thinks about her empty fridge, her overdue rent notice, the way pride does not keep the lights on. She agrees, not because she wants his world, but because she needs time to breathe. Neither of them says it out loud, but both feel it. This is supposed to be simple, just one night, a pretend story told in a crowded room. And yet, as Daniel turns to leave, Lily has the strangest thought. Some contracts change the moment you sign them, even when you think you are in control. Daniel does not sleep much that night. By the time morning light slips through the glass walls of his penthouse, the city is already moving, loud and indifferent. He stands in the kitchen, coffee untouched, replaying the look on Lily's face in that narrow hallway. She did not look impressed. She did not look dazzled. She looked cautious, like someone stepping onto ice without knowing how thick it is. That, more than anything, is why he chose her. By noon, the logistics are already in motion. A black sedan waits outside her building right on time. Lily hesitates before stepping in, adjusting the sleeve of her jacket like it might suddenly become armor. She reminds herself this is temporary. One night, one role. The driver takes them downtown to a boutique that does not display prices in the window. Inside, everything smells faintly of perfume and quiet money. A stylist greets Lily by name, as if this had been planned for weeks instead of hours. Daniel stays back, checking messages on his phone, giving her space. He does not want her to feel watched. Still, when she emerges in a simple, elegant dress that fits her like it was made for her alone, he looks up, and for a moment, he forgets to speak. The dress is not flashy. There is nothing dramatic about it. That is what makes it dangerous. Lily does not look like someone trying to belong. She looks like someone who already does. She notices his reaction and straightens slightly. "If this is too much," she begins. "No," he says quickly, then steadies himself. "It is perfect." They sit down at a small table while an assistant brings over a thin folder. Daniel slides it toward her. "This is not complicated," he says, "but I want it clear." Lily opens the folder. Inside is a simple agreement, written in plain language. No hidden traps, no legal intimidation, just terms. One appearance, one evening, public settings only. No private interviews, no overnight stay, no expectation beyond tonight. Payment transferred immediately after the event. She reads every line carefully. When she finishes, she does not sign right away. "What happens if someone asks how we met?" she asks. Daniel considers the question. "We met through mutual friends," he says. "We keep it vague." "And if your ex asks?" Lily presses. His jaw tightens. "Then I handle it." She nods, satisfied. "And after tonight?" "After tonight," he says, meeting her eyes, "we go back to our lives." That is the line, the boundary. Lily signs her name slowly, deliberately, as if claiming control over the moment. The drive to the venue is quiet. Outside the window, the city sharpens into glass and steel. The engagement party is being held in a restored historic hotel, all marble floors and crystal chandeliers. The kind of place that remembers power long after people leave. As the car pulls up, Lily's pulse quickens. She watches couples step out ahead of them, laughing, confident, already belonging. This is the world Daniel knows how to move through without thinking. He turns to her before opening the door. "One last thing," he says. "If at any point you want to leave, you say the word, no questions." She studies him, surprised. "You will let me walk out in the middle of your ex's engagement party?" "Yes," he says simply. That, more than the dress or the contract or the money, steadies her. Daniel steps out first, then offers his hand. Lily takes it, feeling the weight of eyes turn toward them as they enter together. Inside, the room hums with conversation, glasses clinking, names whispered. Someone recognizes him. Then they recognize her. Heads tilt, smiles pause. The story begins to change shape before anyone says a word. Lily lifts her chin and walks beside him, not a step behind, not ahead, just present. This was supposed to be an arrangement, a performance, but as they cross the threshold, Daniel realizes something has already shifted. For the first time since the invitation arrived, he is not bracing himself. He is standing taller, and Lily, pretending to be his girlfriend for one night, is about to walk into a room that has underestimated her before she even speaks. The moment they step fully into the ballroom, Lily understands what this night is really about. It is not the chandeliers or the music or the carefully arranged smiles. It is the way people look at Daniel, curious, measuring, waiting to see whether he came alone, whether he looks diminished, whether the rumors were true. Then they notice her. The shift is almost physical. Conversations soften, heads turn. Someone near the champagne table whispers a name that Lily does not catch. Daniel feels it too, the subtle recalibration of the room, the quiet surprise that follows them as they move forward. A woman in an ivory dress approaches first, polished, confident, the kind of confidence that comes from always being on the right side of things. "Daniel," she says warmly, "it has been a while." "Melissa," he replies, polite but distant. Her eyes slide to Lily, assessing, sharp and fast. "And you are?" Lily does not rush. She offers her hand with an easy smile. "Lily, it is nice to meet you." The woman hesitates for half a second before taking it. The pause does not go unnoticed. "How lovely," Melissa says, her smile tightening. "And how do you know Daniel?" Lily feels the test in the question. She answers calmly. "Through friends. We kept running into each other. Eventually, we stopped pretending it was accidental." Daniel glances at her, surprised. The line is natural, unforced. It sounds like truth. Melissa laughs lightly, clearly unsure what to do with that. "Well," she says, "welcome. I hope you enjoy the evening." As she walks away, Lily exhales quietly. Daniel leans in just enough for her to hear. "You handled that perfectly." She shrugs. "You said vague." They move deeper into the room. More introductions follow, some polite, some thinly veiled. Lily begins to recognize the pattern. The questions are not about her interests or her work. They are about placement, origin, value. "What do you do?" someone asks, swirling a drink. "I work in operations," Lily replies honestly. "I like fixing things that are inefficient." The man raises an eyebrow. "Operations where?" "At a logistics company," she says. "We keep supply chains moving. When something breaks, I am usually the one they call." It is not impressive by this room's standards, but she says it without apology. That is what disarms them. Across the room, Daniel spots his ex. Claire stands near the center, radiant, her engagement ring catching the light as easily as attention. Her fiancé is beside her, tall and agreeable, the kind of man who fits neatly into expectations. When Claire sees Daniel, her smile freezes for just a fraction of a second. Then her gaze lands on Lily. Claire's eyes narrow, not with jealousy, but with calculation. She excuses herself and approaches, heels clicking softly against the marble floor. "Daniel," she says, "you came." "You invited me," he replies evenly. Claire turns to Lily. "I do not believe we have met." "Lily," she says again, offering her hand. Claire does not take it. Instead, she tilts her head slightly. "You must be very confident to walk into a room like this." The air tightens. A few people nearby pretend not to listen while listening very closely. Lily does not bristle. She smiles, gentle but firm. "Confidence is not about the room," she says. "It is about knowing who you are when you walk in." Silence. Daniel watches Claire search for a response, any angle of superiority. None arrives. Claire forces a laugh. "Well," she says, "I hope you enjoy the party." As she turns away, Daniel feels something unfamiliar rise in his chest. Pride. Not the strategic kind, the human kind. Later, a minor crisis erupts near the catering staff. A delivery mix-up, a missing tray. Voices rise, tension spreading like a crack in glass. Without hesitation, Lily steps forward. She speaks quietly with the staff, asks precise questions, redirects a server, rearranges the timing. Within minutes, the problem dissolves. People notice. Whispers change tone. Daniel realizes something then, standing there watching her move with calm authority. This was supposed to be a performance, a role she played for him. But Lily is not pretending, she is simply being herself. And for the first time that night, Daniel understands that bringing her here did more than protect his pride. It exposed a truth the room was not ready for. The woman on his arm does not need to belong here. The room needs to catch up to her. The night moves on, but the atmosphere around them has changed. Daniel feels it as they walk toward the bar. The way people now look at Lily, not with curiosity but with interest. Respect, even. It unsettles him more than the earlier judgment ever did. This was not part of the plan. She was supposed to blend in, not stand out. A man from the board of a partner firm approaches them, glass in hand. He is older, confident, used to being listened to. "Daniel," he says, "I hear congratulations are in order." Daniel stiffens slightly. Lily feels it and shifts closer, grounding him without thinking. "Thank you," she says smoothly. "It has been an interesting evening." The man studies her. "You seem comfortable here." Lily meets his gaze. "Comfort comes from preparation," she replies, "not privilege." The man laughs, genuinely this time. That is a rare answer in this room. As he walks away, Daniel exhales. "You did not have to do that," he murmurs. "I know," Lily says, "but I wanted to." The music softens, signaling a transition. Someone taps a glass for attention. The host announces a short speech from the engaged couple. Applause ripples through the room as Claire and her fiancé step forward. Daniel considers suggesting they move to the back. Lily shakes her head slightly. "We stay," she whispers. "That is what we agreed." Claire's speech is polished, affectionate, and carefully aimed. She thanks her family, her friends, and then, with a subtle pause, mentions how grateful she is for stability, for choosing wisely. Her eyes flick toward Daniel for just a second, sharp as a blade. Lily feels the insult land, quiet but deliberate. She does not react. She listens. When the applause fades, Claire adds one more thing. "It is wonderful to see familiar faces tonight," she says lightly. "Even unexpected ones." The room hums with anticipation. Daniel knows what is coming. His chest tightens. He prepares to intervene, but Lily steps forward first. "Claire," she says calmly, her voice carrying without strain. "Congratulations. This night is about you. I would not want to take anything away from that." The room stills. Lily continues, unflinching. "But I will say this. People are not defined by what they bring into a room. They are defined by what they contribute while they are in it." Silence stretches, thick and unmistakable. Then someone claps. One person. Then another. It is not loud, not dramatic, but it is real. Claire smiles stiffly and nods, trapped by etiquette. The moment passes, but the damage is done. Daniel looks at Lily as if seeing her for the first time. Not as a solution, not as a shield, as a person who chose grace under pressure. Later, they stand near the balcony doors, the cool night air cutting through the warmth of the room. Lily releases a breath she did not realize she was holding. "That was not in the contract," Daniel says quietly. "No," she replies. "It was not." "I should have stopped her," he says. "I put you in that position." Lily turns to him. "You did not force me to speak. I chose to." He studies her, conflicted. "You did not have to protect me." "I was not protecting you," she says gently. "I was protecting myself." The honesty lands hard. Daniel nods slowly. "Then I owe you an apology, not for tonight, for assuming this was just a transaction." Lily meets his eyes. "I agreed to the transaction, but I did not agree to be diminished." The words settle between them, heavy and clear. Inside, the party continues, laughter rising again, unaware that something has shifted on the edge of the room. The contract still exists. The rules are still in place. But Daniel feels it now. The invisible line they agreed not to cross has already begun to blur. And Lily, standing beside him under the open night sky, realizes something as well. This evening is no longer about surviving a room full of strangers. It is about deciding who she will be when the performance ends. Because the hardest part of pretending is not convincing others. It is knowing when the truth is ready to speak next. The tension does not break after the balcony moment. It deepens. When Daniel and Lily return inside, the party feels different, heavier somehow. Conversations resume, but they no longer circle around him. They circle around her. A woman from one of the investment firms stops Lily near the dessert table. "I hope you do not mind me saying this," she begins, lowering her voice, "but you surprised a lot of people tonight." Lily smiles politely. "I was not trying to." "That is usually how it happens," the woman replies before drifting away. Daniel watches from a few steps back. He feels an unfamiliar unease, not jealousy, but something closer to exposure. He brought Lily here to protect himself. Now, the room is testing him through her. The test comes sooner than he expects. A man he recognizes all too well approaches. Richard Hale, a senior partner, influential, sharp, and never accidental with his words. "Daniel," Richard says, shaking his hand, "I did not expect to see you tonight." "I received an invitation," Daniel replies evenly. Richard turns to Lily, his smile thin. "And you must be the reason." Lily meets his gaze. "I am Lily." Richard nods. "I imagine this has been quite the experience for you." "It has been enlightening," she answers. He chuckles softly. "You know, this world can be confusing for newcomers. People sometimes mistake proximity for belonging." Daniel stiffens. "Richard?" Richard lifts a hand. "I mean no offense. I am only curious." His eyes return to Lily. "Do you see a future here?" The question lands like a weight. The contract flashes in Daniel's mind. The rules, the limits. This is the moment where he is supposed to intervene, redirect, contain. But Lily speaks first. "I see value in honesty," she says calmly, "and in knowing when something is temporary." A few people nearby pause, listening. Richard raises an eyebrow. "So you admit this is temporary?" Lily does not look away. "Everything is," she says, "including rooms like this." Silence. Daniel feels the shift again, stronger this time. He realizes with a start that this is no longer about Lily defending herself. This is about him. Richard smiles tightly. "Enjoy the evening," he says, retreating. Daniel turns to Lily, his voice low. "You did not have to answer that." "I know," she replies. "But if this is going to end tonight, it should end cleanly." The words sting more than he expects. The music swells again, signaling the next phase of the party. People begin moving toward the dance floor. Claire laughs too loudly, her fiancé's hand firm on her back. She looks content, victorious. Daniel feels a pull, sharp and unwelcome, not toward the past, but toward the choice he made when he knocked on Lily's door. They find a quiet corner near a column, just far enough from the crowd. "This was supposed to be simple," Daniel says. "I needed a presence, a buffer. And I agreed to be one," Lily says, "for tonight." He studies her face. "Do you regret it?" She considers the question honestly. "No," she says, "but I will not pretend I did not feel the weight of it." Daniel nods slowly. "I crossed the line." "Yes," she says gently, "you did." He exhales. "After tonight, you owe me nothing. The payment stands. If you want to leave now, I will understand." Lily looks past him at the room, at the people who stopped whispering and started watching. She thinks of her apartment, her rent, the contract folded neatly in her bag. She looks back at him. "I will stay," she says, "not because of the deal, because I choose to finish what I started." Something in Daniel's chest tightens. They step back into the crowd together, but the space between them has changed. It is no longer defined by rules or roles. Across the room, Claire notices them again. The way Daniel looks at Lily now is unmistakable. For the first time that night, Claire's smile falters. The party is far from over, but the balance of power has begun to shift, and both Daniel and Lily sense it. The arrangement they agreed to is approaching its end. What comes after will no longer be protected by a contract, only by choice. The shift becomes impossible to ignore. Daniel feels it when the music slows and the lights dim just enough to signal the evening's peak. The engagement party has reached that moment where conversations loosen, where truths slip out between sips of champagne. For most people, it is comfort. For him, it is clarity. He watches Lily from across the room, speaking with a small group near the windows. She is not performing. She is not scanning for approval. She listens, responds, and smiles only when it is earned. The room has adjusted to her presence, not the other way around. Someone touches Daniel's arm. He turns to see Claire's fiancé, Mark, offering a polite, practiced smile. "Daniel," Mark says, "I wanted to say hello properly." Daniel nods. "Congratulations." "Thank you," Mark replies. "Claire has spoken highly of you, of your focus." The word lands with a faint edge. Focus. The thing she once accused him of having too much of. Mark glances toward Lily. "Your partner seems impressive." Daniel does not correct him. "She is." Mark hesitates, then continues. "Claire worried you might feel uncomfortable tonight." Daniel meets his gaze. "I am exactly where I need to be." Across the room, Claire watches them. She sees the way Daniel stands now, grounded, unguarded. She sees the way Lily's presence has not diminished him, but steadied him. It unsettles her more than she expects. A toast is announced. Glasses are raised. Claire speaks again, her voice warm, rehearsed. She thanks her fiancé, her family, and the future they are building. When the applause fades, she adds one final line. "And to new beginnings," she says, lifting her glass. "For all of us." Her eyes meet Daniel's. The message is clear. Closure, finality. Daniel lifts his glass in return, calm. Lily notices and steps closer, her shoulder brushing his arm. It is a small gesture. It changes everything. The crowd begins to disperse toward the dance floor. Daniel turns to Lily. "Do you want to step outside for a moment?" She nods. They move back to the balcony, the night air cool against their skin. Below them, the city stretches wide and endless. For a moment, neither speaks. "This is the part where I am supposed to say thank you," Daniel begins, "and let you go." Lily looks out over the lights. "Yes," she says softly, "it is. I hired you to help me save face," he continues, "but you did more than that. You showed me where I lost it." She turns to him then. "Daniel, do not confuse clarity with obligation." "I am not," he says. "I am choosing honesty." He reaches into his jacket and pulls out the folded agreement. He looks at it once, then tears it cleanly in half. Lily's breath catches. You did not have to do that. I know, he replies. I wanted to. Silence settles between them, not awkward, but full. After tonight, he says, I do not want you to feel like you were a role I rented. If you walk away, I will respect it. If you stay, it will not be because of money or appearances. Lily studies his face, searching for control, for expectation. She finds neither. I will not decide that tonight, she says. I deserve time. You have it, he says, all of it. They return inside together, but something has changed. The invisible contract is gone. The performance has ended, even if the party has not. People notice. The whispers are different now. Curious, speculative. Claire sees it too. The torn paper in Daniel's hand. The way Lily stands beside him, no longer pretending, no longer guarding. For the first time that evening, Claire looks uncertain. The music swells. The party continues. But the story has crossed its threshold. What was fake has already fallen away. What remains is fragile and real. The night is not finished yet. But neither Daniel nor Lily is hiding anymore. The unraveling does not happen loudly. It happens in pieces. Daniel feels it first when a quiet tension moves through the room, subtle but deliberate, like a current shifting beneath calm water. Conversations stop when he approaches. Eyes flick away too quickly. Someone is making calls. Lily notices it too. A woman she spoke with earlier avoids her gaze now. A server hesitates before refilling their glasses, then moves on without a word. The atmosphere has sharpened, edged with expectation. Something is wrong, Lily says quietly. Daniel nods. Yes. They do not have to wait long to find out what. Richard Hale returns, this time with two others at his side. One is from the board. The other is someone Daniel recognizes as a longtime investor in his company. Their smiles are polite. Their intent is not. Daniel, Richard says, may we have a word? Daniel straightens. Anything you want to say, you can say here. Richard glances at Lily. This concerns business. Lily begins to step back. Daniel stops her gently with a hand at her wrist. She stays. A flicker of irritation crosses Richard's face. Very well. He lowers his voice, but not enough. There have been questions tonight, about judgment, about optics. Daniel remains still. Be specific. Richard gestures subtly toward Lily. About the company you keep. Investors value stability, predictability. They do not appreciate surprises. The words are careful. The meaning is not. Lily feels heat rise in her chest, but she keeps her voice steady. If there is a concern, it should be addressed directly, not implied. Richard turns to her, expression sharpening. With respect, this is not your arena. Daniel steps forward. It is now. The surrounding guests have begun to notice. The room has formed a loose circle without meaning to. Richard sighs, as if disappointed. Daniel, you have built something remarkable. Do not let sentiment undo it. This arrangement, he glances at Lily again, creates unnecessary risk. Lily understands then. This is the test, not of her, of him. Daniel feels the weight of it press against old habits, old instincts. He knows how to smooth this over, how to reassure them, how to distance himself from anything that complicates the narrative. He could do it in one sentence. Instead, he says nothing. Claire appears at the edge of the group, drawn by the tension. She listens, eyes moving between Daniel and Lily. A faint, knowing look crosses her face. This is exactly what I warned you about, Claire says softly, just loud enough to be heard. Mixing worlds. Lily turns to her. No one asked for your warning. Claire smiles thinly. You think this is about you. It is not. It is about consequences. Daniel finally speaks. This stops, he says, his voice calm but absolute. Now. Richard looks startled. Daniel, think carefully. I am, Daniel replies. You are questioning my leadership based on who I stand next to, not the decisions I make. That is how perception works, Richard says. Then change your perception, Daniel says, or change your position. A murmur ripples through the room. Richard stiffens. You would risk everything for this? Daniel looks at Lily. Not as a symbol, not as a problem, as a person. I am not risking anything, he says. I am refusing to sacrifice someone to make you comfortable. Silence crashes down. Lily feels her throat tighten. She steps forward. Daniel, you do not owe me this. I know, he says. That is why it matters. Claire's composure cracks. You are making a mistake, she says sharply. You always do when emotions get involved. Daniel meets her gaze, steady. No, the mistake was believing control was the same as strength. The room holds its breath. Richard steps back, recalculating. This conversation is not over. No, Daniel says. It is. Richard turns away, the others following, the crowd slowly dispersing as if released from a spell. Lily exhales, her hands trembling despite her effort to stay composed. You just challenge people who can hurt you. Daniel nods. I know. She looks at him, eyes searching. Why? Because tonight stopped being about appearances, he says. And because letting them humiliate you would have been the real failure. The music resumes, tentative at first. But the damage is done. Lines have been crossed, positions taken. The contract is gone. The room has chosen sides. And Lily understands something with sudden clarity. This is no longer a performance that can be walked away from quietly. Whatever comes next will demand a decision from her as well, and it will not be easy. The party does not recover from the confrontation. It pretends to, of course. Music plays, glasses refill, smiles return to faces trained to wear them. But the ease is gone. Something fundamental has shifted, and everyone in the room knows it. Daniel feels the consequences almost immediately. His phone vibrates in his pocket. One message, then another, then a third. Names he recognizes, questions framed as concern, suggestions disguised as advice. He does not open any of them. Lily stands beside him, acutely aware of the space they now occupy. People no longer approach casually. They observe from a distance, reassessing, recalculating. The curiosity is turned sharp. This is my fault, Lily says quietly. You warned me this world punishes disruption. Daniel shakes his head. No, it punishes honesty. That is not the same thing. They move toward a quieter corridor near the restrooms, away from the crowd. Lily's pulse finally catches up with her, thudding hard in her ears. You stood up to them, she says. That was not nothing. It was overdue, he replies. She turns to face him fully. Do not minimize it. People like Richard do not forget. I know, Daniel says, and they will test me for it. Lily swallows. Then you should let me go. Cleanly. Tonight. The words land harder than any accusation. Daniel looks at her, really looks at her. Is that what you want? She hesitates. It might be what is best. For whom? He asks. For you, she answers. You built something with care. I walked into it by accident. You did not walk into anything, Daniel says. I invited you. Yes, she says softly. And now I see the cost. Silence stretches between them, heavy and intimate. Daniel reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone, finally opening the messages. He scrolls once, then locks the screen and slips it away. Here is the truth, he says. If I step back now, if I pretend tonight did not happen, I keep my position, my comfort, my control. He pauses. But I lose something else. Lily searches his face. What? Myself, he says. She exhales slowly. That is not a fair thing to put on me. I am not putting it on you, he replies. I am owning it. They hear raised voices from the ballroom. Someone is arguing near the bar. A ripple of tension spreads again. Daniel knows what is coming before he sees it. Richard has gathered a small group near the center of the room. He is speaking calmly, but with purpose. Heads nod. Phones are discreetly checked. They are already shaping the story, Lily says. Yes, Daniel replies, and they will make you the reason. She meets his gaze. Then let me take that weight off you. Before he can respond, Lily steps forward and walks back into the ballroom alone. Daniel freezes. Lily. She turns just once. I need to do this my way. She approaches Richard and the group, her posture straight, her voice steady. The room quiets again, drawn by instinct. I would like to say something, Lily says. Richard looks displeased, but the attention is already hers. I did not come here to disrupt anyone's business or reputation, she continues. I agreed to accompany Daniel tonight under a clear understanding. That agreement has ended. A murmur spreads. I am leaving, she says, not because I am ashamed, but because I refuse to be used as leverage. She turns to Daniel, her eyes steady. You owe me nothing, and you do not have to explain me to anyone. The room holds its breath. Daniel steps forward, his voice cutting through the tension. No. Every head turns. No, he repeats, louder now. This does not end with her walking away to make you comfortable. He moves to Lily's side. If there is a story to be told tonight, then tell it correctly. I chose her presence. I chose my response. And I stand by both. The silence that follows is absolute. Richard opens his mouth, then closes it. There is nothing left to maneuver. Lily looks at Daniel, shaken. You do not have to do this. I know, he says. That is why I am. The balance tips. What was once a quiet arrangement has become a public line in the sand. The room understands it now. This is no longer about an engagement party. It is about who gets to define worth. And Daniel has just made his choice visible to everyone, including Lily, especially Lily. The party ends without ceremony. People leave in careful clusters, voices low, expressions guarded. No one laughs too loudly anymore. The engagement banners still hang, untouched, but the meaning behind them has shifted. What was meant to be a celebration has become a marker, a before and an after. Daniel and Lily do not rush out. They stand near the exit, letting the room empty around them. When the doors finally close behind the last guest, the hotel feels cavernous and quiet, like a stage after the audience has gone home. I should go, Lily says softly. Daniel nods. I will have a car take you. She shakes her head. No, I want to walk for a bit. He hesitates, then respects it. I will walk with you, if that is all right. Outside, the night air is cool and steady. The city hums, indifferent to private reckonings. They walk side by side without touching, without speaking, until the hotel disappears behind them. At the beginning of tonight, Lily says, breaking the silence, I thought the hardest part would be pretending. And now? Daniel asks. Now I know the hardest part is choosing what happens after. He stops walking. She turns to face him. I meant what I said in there, she continues. I will not be someone you defend out of guilt or rebellion. If I stay in your life, it has to be because we both want the same thing. Daniel meets her gaze, steady and open. I do. She searches his face for urgency, for neediness, for the urge to claim. She finds none of it. I am not asking you to decide tonight, he says. The contract is gone. The expectations are gone. Whatever happens next has to be chosen freely, by both of us. Lily exhales, the tension finally loosening from her shoulders. Then this is where we pause. He nods. This is where we pause. They part without a promise, without a kiss, without anything that could cheapen what was earned. Lily walks into the night alone, her steps lighter than they were when she arrived. Daniel watches her go, knowing this is the first decision he has made in a long time that was not about control. Weeks pass. The fallout is real. Meetings are tense. Questions are asked. Daniel does not retreat. He does not explain Lily away. He explains himself. Some doors close. Others open quietly. One afternoon, a message arrives on his phone. A simple address. A time. He smiles. The place is small, understated. A neighborhood cafe with chipped mugs and sunlight through the windows. Lily sits at a corner table. No elegant dress, no borrowed confidence, just herself. You came, she says. I said I would, Daniel replies. They talk, not about the party, not about the damage, about work, about choices, about the lives they built separately. When they leave, they walk together. There is no announcement, no spectacle, no contract reborn as romance. Just two people choosing each other without an audience. Months later, when Daniel attends his next public event, Lily is there, not as a shield, not as a statement, as a partner. And when someone asks how they met, Daniel smiles. At a party, he says, where everything I thought was important changed. Sometimes, the bravest love stories do not begin with a grand gesture. They begin with a contract that ends, and a choice that finally begins.